Once upon a time, the United States ruled the car world. Detroit was called the Motor City. Ford changed history with the Model T. American cars like Mustang, Cadillac, and Chevrolet became legends across the globe. For decades, the U.S. was the king of the road. But today, the world has flipped upside down. A new player has taken the driver's seat, and that player is China. Think about this. The biggest electric car company in the world isn't Tesla anymore. It's BYD, a Chinese company. The fastest growing car startups? They're in China. The most advanced battery factories? Built in China. Even flying cars, the kind we once saw only in science fiction, are already being tested in Chinese cities. And here's the crazy part. While the US is still debating about charging stations and regulations, China is already mass-producing the future. EVs, hybrids, hydrogen trucks, and yes, even passenger drones. This is more than just cars. This is about power. This is about the future of transportation, and maybe even the future of global leadership. So the big question is, how did China go from following America to beating America in the car industry? And what does it mean for the rest of the world? Today, we'll break it all down, step by step. China's big win is EVs. Let's rewind for a second. When people first heard about electric cars, most laughed. They said EVs were too slow, too expensive, and too unrealistic. In the US, Tesla was the company that proved everyone wrong. Elon Musk showed the world that electric cars could be fast, powerful, and cool. The Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Model Y became symbols of the future. But while the world focused on Tesla, something much bigger was happening in China. Quietly, step by step, China was building the world's largest EV industry. And today, China sells more than half of all the electric cars in the world. That's right, over 50% of global EV sales happen in China. So how did they do it? 3 key reasons: scale, affordability, and infrastructure. Scale. China makes more cars overall than any other country. But they didn't stop there. They built entire cities dedicated to EV production. Factories in Shenzhen, Shanghai, and Guangzhou can produce hundreds of thousands of EVs every year. Companies like BYD, NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, and Geely are producing cars at a scale the US can't match. BYD alone sold 3 million EVs and plug-in hybrids last year, beating Tesla's sales. Affordability. Tesla cars are amazing, but they are expensive. A Tesla in the US costs $40,000 to $60,000. In China, you can buy an EV for less than $10,000. Cars like the Wuling Hongguang Mini EV became super popular because they're cheap, small, and perfect for crowded cities. For many Chinese families, buying a $5,000 to $8,000 EV was easier than buying a gasoline car. This affordability helped EVs spread like wildfire. Infrastructure. One of the biggest fears about EVs is charging. People worry, where will I charge my car? How long will it take? China solved this by building millions of charging stations across the country. Big cities like Beijing and Shanghai have chargers everywhere, at malls, gas stations, even in apartment complexes. And they're not stopping. China is installing hundreds of thousands of new chargers every year, while the US still struggles to expand its charging network. But here's the most important part: batteries. Batteries are the heart of electric cars. Without batteries, EVs don't exist. And China dominates this too. Companies like CATL, Contemporary Amperex Technology Limited, and BYD are the largest EV battery makers in the world. They supply not only Chinese car makers, but also companies in Europe, Japan, and yes, even Tesla itself. Tesla's Model 3 in China uses CATL batteries. This means that even America's top EV company relies on Chinese batteries. Why does China control batteries? Because they invested early. They control the mining, refining, and production of key minerals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. The US has some resources, but China built the supply chain. Today, if you buy an EV anywhere in the world, there's a high chance part of its battery comes from China. And here's where it gets interesting. China isn't just making cheap cars, they're also pushing luxury EVs. Brands like NIO are building high-end electric SUVs with features like swappable batteries. That's right, you don't need to charge. You just drive to a station, swap your empty battery for a full one, and in 5 minutes you're back on the road, faster than filling a gas tank. So when we look at the big picture, it's clear. EVs are China's biggest win over the US. China sells more EVs, China makes cheaper EVs, China has more chargers, and China controls the battery supply chain. Tesla may have started the EV revolution, but China turned it into a national strategy, and today, they are miles ahead. China's smart middle step. When most people talk about the future of cars, they usually think about electric vehicles. EVs get the headlines, the hype, and the attention. But here's the reality. Not everyone is ready for a 100% electric car. And this is where China played a very smart move: hybrids. In the United States, most companies are trying to skip hybrids and jump straight to full electric. Tesla doesn't make hybrids at all. Even traditional American automakers are slowly moving away from them. But in China, it's a different story. Chinese car companies realize something important. Millions of people don't yet have easy access to charging stations. Many live in smaller cities, rural towns, or apartments without private parking. For them, a full EV isn't practical. So China doubled down on hybrids, especially plug-in hybrids. One of the best examples is Li Auto. This company has become famous in China for its large plug-in hybrid SUVs. Cars like the Li 1 and Li L9 look like luxury vehicles, packed with technology, big screens, and smart features. Families love them because they can drive electric during the week and switch to gas for long road trips. It's convenience plus confidence. And it's not just Li Auto. BYD, the same company beating Tesla in EV sales, is also making millions of hybrids. In fact, many of BYD's most popular models, like the Qin Plus DMI and Song Plus DMI, are hybrids. The DMI system is designed to give maximum fuel efficiency with strong electric performance. These cars sell in huge numbers because they offer the best of both worlds. What makes China's hybrid strategy powerful? Volume. While the US still debates whether hybrids are worth it, China is selling them in the millions. In 2023 alone, China sold over 1.5 million plug-in hybrids. That's more than most countries sell in total car sales. And this isn't just about cars, it's about time. Hybrids are buying China time to expand charging infrastructure and improve battery technology. While EV networks grow, hybrids keep people moving without worry. Think of it this way: if EVs are the future, hybrids are the bridge. And China built that bridge stronger and faster than anyone else. So the US tried to leap forward, but China played it smart. They gave people practical options now, while still preparing for full electrification later. It's another reason why China is racing ahead in the car industry. The dark horse, hydrogen. When people think about the future of cars, they usually picture batteries, charging stations, and Teslas zipping around. But what if I told you there's another player waiting in the shadows? A player that could change everything if it finally takes off. That player is hydrogen. Hydrogen cars, also called fuel cell vehicles, don't use gasoline. They don't rely on big batteries either. Instead, they use hydrogen gas to create electricity inside the car. And here's the crazy part. The only thing that comes out of the exhaust pipe is water. Clean, pure water. Zero pollution. Now, in the US, hydrogen cars are rare. You might see a Toyota Mirai or a Hyundai Nexo in California, but even there, fueling stations are extremely limited. America hasn't built the infrastructure. Hydrogen feels like a dream that's always coming soon, but never really arriving. China, however, is quietly making big moves here. While the world focused on electric cars, China started investing billions into hydrogen. They see it as a long-term bet, a dark horse that could surprise everyone. Here's why. EVs are amazing for small cars and cities, but for heavy-duty trucks, buses, and long-distance transport, batteries can be too heavy, and charging takes too long. Hydrogen is different. It's light, it's energy-dense, and you can refuel a hydrogen vehicle in just 3 to 5 minutes, just like filling a gas tank. For long-haul trucking, shipping, and even trains, hydrogen could be the game-changer. China knows this. That's why they've launched a national hydrogen strategy. Cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Chengdu are already testing hydrogen buses and taxis. By 2025, China aims to have 50,000 hydrogen-powered vehicles on the road. And by 2035, they want hydrogen to play a major role in their transport system. Chinese companies like Great Wall Motors, SIC, and Foton are leading the charge. They're building hydrogen fuel cell trucks and buses designed for logistics and public transport. And here's the kicker. Chinese state-owned oil companies are converting gas stations into hydrogen refueling stations. Imagine driving across China and being able to refuel your hydrogen car as easily as a gasoline car. And let's not forget, China also controls much of the global supply chain for clean energy technology. Just like with batteries, they're racing to control the hydrogen economy, building electrolyzers, machines that produce hydrogen from water, pipelines, and storage systems. Now, is hydrogen perfect? No. Producing hydrogen can still be expensive, especially green hydrogen made from renewable energy. But China doesn't see that as a problem. They see it as an opportunity. They're betting that as technology improves and costs drop, hydrogen will become the next big revolution after EVs. So while the US debates whether hydrogen is worth it, China is already laying the foundation. They know hydrogen might not dominate today, but in 10 or 20 years, it could be the trump card that secures their lead in clean transportation. That's why we call it the dark horse. Quiet now, but potentially unstoppable in the future. It's simple. China planned ahead. They invested billions in EVs, hybrids, hydrogen, and even flying cars. They built factories, created infrastructure, and made cars affordable for everyday people. Meanwhile, the US was slower, more divided, and often focused only on the short term. The result? Today, China sells more cars, more EVs, and more hybrids than anyone else in the world. And tomorrow, they might lead in hydrogen and flying cars too. The car industry used to belong to America. Now, China is holding the steering wheel. So, what do you think? Will America catch up, or will China control the future of transportation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the future of cars is just getting started.